And here we are at South by Southwest with Betty Who. Hey, Betty.
I'm good. How you didn't ask me how I'm doing.
How are you doing? How are you doing, Betty Who?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you. This is your first South by Southwest?
It's my second South by Southwest. I came about 3-4 years ago, so it's been a couple years. I think it's been upgraded, to be honest. But I don't know. I'm loving it. We've had a great time. It's only our second day, so we got one more full-on day tomorrow, and then we're out of here Friday.
There's lots of commotion here at the StubHub stage for you, getting ready and all this preparation. What do you think about all this?
I'm loving it. I have still got to warm up. We're going to stretch. We're going to get ready. Going to run some dances. We got lots to do. And then the show's going to be on in a couple hours. I think they just kicked everybody out, so it is very hectic right now. But it's great. We're here, so that's all that matters.
And you're gearing up for an album launch pretty soon?
I have an album coming out on the 24th of March, which is crazy, and I can't even believe that it's happening. But it's coming out, and then we're going on tour right after it, the Party in the Valley tour.
Fantastic. What's it like going into the second album as opposed to the fresh-faced first album?
First album is so kind of everything is new, and second album I think is much more like, all right, we're doing it again. And so not only do you know what to expect a little more and you're a little bit more maybe seasoned, but there is a little bit of the kind of, I don't want to say magic because it's still totally magical, but there is a little bit of the kind of doe-eyed thing that's missing this time, but I'm kind of grateful for it because I feel much more like prepared for what's going on, what's about to happen to me.
You've been around the block once then.
Yes, I have. Once, maybe twice.
Getting a little older, a little bit wiser.
Exactly. God, I wish I wasn't, but yes, I am.
Fantastic. Now, one of their songs that I love so much is Human Touch. I was kind of hoping you could tell me a little bit about that track.
Yeah, I love Human Touch too. We're going to play it tonight if you're going to stick around for the show. It is a song I wrote about when you're in a relationship with somebody and then you break up and maybe you run into them later and you're like, I know that this is a horrible idea, but why don't we spend one more night together just to see what happens? And it never ends well, at least in my experience. It never ends well, but you do it anyway because that's what people do. And that song is about that conversation leading up to that night.
Fantastic. And you also have a great new single out now called Some Kind of Wonderful. What is your spin on that song?
Some Kind of Wonderful is just it's a love song. I mean, and fundamentally, like that's what I love about it so much is that it is about, you know, kind of putting on an air about you or trying to be cool or trying to make somebody like you when it's like they actually cared about you just for who you are the entire time, you know. So it's like, and that feeling is so effortless and it kind of takes such a load off, and so that's what the song is about to me.
Fantastic. Now, we didn't get to chat the first time around when Somebody Loves You sort of came out and went viral with the wedding proposal and all that. Was that, I just want to ask you, was that a surprise to you? Did you actually know that was going to happen?
I had no idea. Literally, the video was put up, and they sent it to my manager, and they were like, can we put this up? Is this good? And I was like, this is the most adorable thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Yes, of course you can. It had like 10 views on it. And then like 2 days later, it had over 1 million views, and now it has over 12 or 13 million views or something. So it was insane, and it was totally unexpected, and kind of was like a kickstart to where I am now. I mean, it's like the whole reason that the first year of my career happened the way that it did. So I'm still so grateful for it.
What's that like, sitting there and kind of just watching the views go up? And does the phone start ringing off the hook when that happens?
Yeah, yes. But also, it's like it's really surreal, and it sort of doesn't feel very like connected to. The internet to me is so disconnected from my real life. Like something will be on it online, or I'll put a song out, and because it's all like in the ethers now, it's not like holding a physical copy. You know, you so rarely get to do stuff like that anymore. So when things like that happen, when it is internet related, you're kind of like, logically, I understand that this is a really big deal, that this is very exciting. But actually, I'm just like sitting in Central Park at my friend's birthday party, and like this video had a million more views than it did last hour, and I've just been sitting here this whole time, and like. I'm sure it means something, but I have yet to kind of understand what it is.
Probably along the same lines of having a number one single. One day you're out there, the next day you're number one.
And you're like, oh, I don't really feel any different. This is just like a thing that happened. So it's really interesting to kind of ride those waves, but also at the same time kind of know that fundamentally, like, you're still the same person. It's really interesting, but it's been really fun, and that video is still so close to my heart.
Fantastic. Now, some Londoners are getting very excited for your Getting very excited for your upcoming appearance for EQ Music Live in a couple months. Are you excited to come back to London?
I have been dying to come back to London ever since I left. I wish I could live in. I tell people this all the time. I'm like, London's one of my favorite places in the world. If I could live there, I would. So I'm really looking forward to come and play a proper show and do it big, because I never get to come enough. And so when I do, I try to savor it as much as I can.
And what can we expect from your next London show?
I think you can expect a lot more dancing than you did in the first show. We've been getting down a lot lately, so it's gonna be really fun, and it's gonna be really high energy, as you could always expect from me. And lots of new music, a couple oldies but goodies. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, Betty, who has been a pleasure to get to chat to you today, and best of luck with your show tonight at South by Southwest.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure.
And we'll see you very soon.
Yes, you will.